So there have been some questions posted from beginners about single crochet. And I wanted to do a quick reel for you here to show this to you. Now, normally you're told to make a slip stitch like that. And that's fine. I personally don't like doing it that way because once you've chained and come back around into to go into this first chain to finish off your first row, it tends to leave a bit of a gap. It can be closed, but it's a bit of a hassle to get that part closed. And since I do everything here, doing this by my fingers, I'm just going to show you this way. Take the tail end, make sure you keep yourself a nice long tail, just in case. And I just hold the loop, twirl it, grab the tail end, pull it through like that. Then put my hook through and cinch it shut using the tail end. Now, what's on your hook, this loop, is not a chain. It's just the loop. It's a working loop. You're going to yarn over. In the written directions, it's abbreviated as YO, and single crochet is abbreviated as SC. We're going to chain one. Let's do something simple and short. 2, and keep this nice and loose. If you tighten too much, you're not going to be able to get your hook back through that chain hole. If you need to, if you have a tendency to have a tight fist and you need to work on your tension, do this chain with a larger hook than what's needed, and then go to the regular size hook for the rest of the project. Three, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, no, 5, 6, 7, and from here you're told, if you're doing single crochet, remember this loop is not a chain, it's just the working loop. These V's, each V indicates one chain, and you can count your chains by counting those V's. Now, nobody likes doing the first row. Nobody. It's a pain in the butt, but it needs to be done. So you're told to skip, for a single crochet, to skip this first chain and go into the second. Directions will tell you to chain such and such many chains plus a certain number after, +2, +3, whatever. That means you would chain the amount that it says, and that plus number is your turning number. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if it says +2, that means you look at your 7, 1, 2. You've got 2 extra chains. Those are going to be turning chains, because you're going to need the rest of those chains for your project. Now you're told for a single crochet to skip this first chain indicated by the V and go into the second chain. I don't like doing that because I think it makes the edge a little wonky. I prefer to go through the second chain, the one, two, the third chain from the hook, like that. And overall, it'll make the edge and the corners neater, in my opinion. So, for a single crochet, remember this is a working loop, not a chain. Yarn over, YO in the directions, go through the next chain, yarn over, pull through. That's for a double. Hey, it's 12:30 in the morning. What do you want? So go through the next chain, yarn over, pull through. There's 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2. Through the next chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Some people go through the top loop, some through the bottom. Some will turn it over and go through this little hump that's on the back. You can do this however you want. The only thing going through this little hump is going to do for your work is leave you a nice even chain on the bottom of the work. It'll make for a nice border. But you can always go back when you're done and do either slip stitches or single crochets along the bottom to make it nice and neat, which I do. So we go through, I go through the top. I like going through the top, over, through, hook through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Hold your yarn however is comfortable for you. Some people do this whole hinky thing around their fingers looking like they're going to do a cat's cradle or something, and I just don't get it. And this is just the way I do it, and if I have to let go of something, that's fine too, as long as it gets the project done. And pull through. Now, if we were going to do the initial start of the initial chain by doing the slip knot through the working end, remember I told you it leaves a gap. The gap kind of looks like that. If you do it through the tail, you can just grab it and cinch it shut. For the second row, you're told to chain 1 and turn for a single crochet and go through that first stitch. But remember I told you I don't like how it looks at the edges. I do 2 chains and then turn, and instead of going through this first chain, I go through the second chain to start the next row of single crochets. And coming back, when you turn again and come back, you're not going to be losing a stitch because you've got a chain right here. You should get stitch markers to mark the beginning and end of each row so that you don't overshoot or undershoot the final stitch. You can buy stitch markers, these little plastic things that are cute and everything, but these sausages can't hold them. I use safety pins. They're cheap, they're easy to find. So go through, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Hook through the next chain, pull through, yarn over, pull through. In, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Now, technically you're doing a yarn over here in the back. It's just easier to grab it with your hook instead of making a to-do about it. Now, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Using stitch markers, when you turn your work and you do your first stitch on that row, stop a moment and put your stitch marker through this top turning chain. That way you know where your final stitch should be when you're coming back around. You should have 2 stitch markers, one at the beginning and one at the end. So there should be another one at the end of this row, which would have been the beginning of that other row, that second row, or first row. And then just change it up to the next row when you're ready with the next row. Through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. And every once in a while, when you're done with a row, stop and count your stitches to make sure you're getting them right. If you don't have the same count where they should be, then you're going to be getting it all hinky. And don't hesitate to stretch your yarn a little bit because sometimes your tension is a little off. Mine has always been off. I've always had a hard time with my tension. And you can always fix any slight discrepancies. The same amount of stitches on each row, but this can be fixed with a border when you're done with your work. You can put a fancy border, you can put a border of single crochets, however you want. There's a whole bunch of ways to do borders on YouTube. I just go around and do single crochets. Okay. And let's do doubles. 2, 3. So do a double, you want to crochet, you want to chain 3 and turn. Depending on how my stitches are looking that particular day, sometimes I just do 2 chains and turn for a double. And then go through that first chain. This is part of the this chain here is part of the chain you just did to rise up to the second row, to the next row, sorry. You want to go into this chain here. See that? So for a double, you're going to yarn over first, go through that chain, pull it through, yarn over. You've now got 4 on your hook. Go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. So yarn over, go through the next chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, chain through the next chain, pull through, 3 on your hook, yarn over, 4 on your hook, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Sorry if it goes out of frame just a little bit. I can't quite get the hang of. I'm new to this camera, which is why it's a bad fuzzy picture to begin with. And I can't quite watch this and look at the screen at the same time. And people have asked, how many rows do I have? Well, count. These chains at the top, sometimes you can get confused trying to count these chains. These, between the top and bottom chain, is a post. Count your posts. You can't go wrong counting your posts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And yes, I always tend to count the end. That's just me. So that's how many posts across you have, or how many chains across you have. And for rows, count your posts going up. So if there are additional rows, count up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Count your posts. And I hope that's helpful for you. I'm open to questions. PM me if you'd like. However you'd like to contact me. And just remember, I'm not much more of a beginner than you are. With my vision issues, I can pretty much do flat things. I can't do clothing, sweaters and stuff. I don't have the patience for blankets, full-size blankets. I can do a baby blanket. They're small. But I have to use this thicker yarn. This is a weight of 6. It is Bernat's Super Fluff Free. It's soft. It's a bit fuzzy. I also like Bernat's felted yarn. It's one size smaller, but I like it. It has a tendency to attract static, but that's okay. I like it. Unfortunately, certain stores that we shall not name have been going with this awful stuff that really you can't, it doesn't look right with the designs. And I just don't like it. So I've started having to order off the internet. But that's that. My own 2 cents. What you might need to order, though, is this darning needle kit. You must have a darning needle kit in your toolkit. What's a darning needle? A darning needle looks like a large sewing needle, except it's got this big eye and the tip is blunt. This is so you don't fray the yarn. If you're going to embroider, these come in different sizes, different shapes, depending on what you're doing. This particular kit comes with stitch markers, and because these are so small and with my vision issues, I cannot use these, so I use safety pins, and that's perfectly fine, whatever you can use. I know some people have put little ribbons through to mark their use stitch markers, and that's fine, whatever works for you. What you do with these, and every kit, even a regular sewing kit, comes with this little doohickey that's called a threader. And it's just what it sounds like. Put the threader through the hole of the needle. And yes, it'll fit through regular size needles because this little piece of metal at the end is extremely flexible. It bends easily, and you can get it bent out of shape, so just be careful with it. You're going to take your yarn or thread, put it through the middle of that little piece of metal. It's in a diamond shape. Put it through, pull it through the eye of the needle, get rid of the threader. Now you've got the thread or the yarn or thread, whichever you want, through the needle, and you're just going to sew with it. Like that. And you can sew it in wherever you want. Just like that. And to make sure this doesn't come out, this tail doesn't come out easily, go back over your work. Don't go back through this first one. You're going to undo the tail. Skip it, go through the next. And now you can cut your tail. I personally, if I'm going to switch skeins of yarn or switch colors, I personally also like to crochet over it. I'll flatten it on the top, and then when I go to do my next row, I'll just crochet over it along the row to hide it inside the work that way. You just cut it off, but if you crochet over it, that makes it even stronger that the tail won't come out. And normally you wouldn't do something like that until the end of your work. All these white little pieces are one of my cats making himself known. So I hope that helps. As I say, if you have any questions, send me a message, comment on this, PM me, however.